Hey folks, welcome back to Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sin. We're here in the Shrine of Amana. Now the Shrine of Amana is a heck of an area. You'll notice there's a whole lot of space. A lot of it doesn't get used, but it does make a very nice set piece. Now the Shrine of Amana, I would say there are two dominant schools of thought on it. Two dominant opinions, so to speak. One opinion is that it's a pretty good late game area. It's challenging, definitely, but if you are well equipped, then you should be able to deal with it just fine. The other opinion, the correct opinion, is that it's an absolute garbage fire of an area and probably the worst area in the base game. There's one worse area in the DLCs, actually possibly more than one, but in the base game, this takes the cake as the absolute worst. Whew. That always freaks me out. We'll catch that on the way down. So we'll get into why this area is terrible later. For now, there's an archdrake. Hopefully one of those will drop equipment for us to look at. There's also a basilisk here for reasons that I'm not sure of. Fire drake stone. Is that another crafting material? Yes, imbues equipment with fire. I didn't look at the actual description. Why don't I do that? Probably won't be very interesting. Sorcerers at the Melthian Magic Academy once attempted to imbue Titanite with various elements, but are said to have failed. But someone must have succeeded, though. What else would explain this stone? Melthian Magic Academy got up to a lot of stuff. So you've probably noticed by now the, well, it's quiet now. There we go. The singing in the background. Music in the background for Dark Souls games is pretty unusual outside of boss fights. So this should definitely stand out. And it is indeed diegetic music, which is the pretentious term for music that is occurring within the game world. We will learn a little bit more about its source in just a few minutes, but one thing I want to draw attention to is that when that singing is going on, you will notice some sparkling gold in certain spots above the water. And indeed, those are, I believe, fireflies, or something like that, that are calming, pacifying these enemies under the waters. Now, doesn't completely pacify them. If you get really close, they will still aggro. But while those fireflies are active, the enemy's aggro radius will be a lot smaller. And it makes getting through the areas quite a bit simpler. Now, that said, I don't want to aggro them too much, so I'm going to let that guy come to me. There we go. Archdrake robes. I want to say this is the starting set for the cleric. Let me quick. Yeah, certainly looks like it. So, description here. Robes of the Archdrake sect of Lindelt. Little is known about the Archdrake sect and its ancient rituals, and those who dare to indulge their curiosity have been known to simply vanish. The Archdrake sect are the keepers of Lindelt's histories, including the only record of its foundation, a tome that they have good reason to keep hidden away. So definitely a very secretive group, very powerful group that hides the true history. They're the Illuminati, basically, except they wield halberds, I guess. What they're doing here, not really clear, although at least they are, you know, very explicitly secretive, so it's less weird that they're not telling us. Anyway, there's an item over there, and looky, that is a whole lot of enemies. I'm going to try to only aggro one. I'm pretty sure if I tried to weave through, then I would end up aggroing two. So, now these things, I believe are hollows that adapted to aquatic living down here after living, or unliving, for a very, very long time. I got that from the wiki, which got it from the guide. I don't think it's actually in game anywhere. Okay, let's grab that item that dropped down. Flame Butterfly and Twinkling Titanite. Not bad. Now, I said earlier that it was the singing that was pacifying these enemies. Now, what is about to happen, I believe, is that as we approach this hut, the singing will stop. There it is. And if you're not expecting that, you very well might get mobbed by like 3 of those dudes, which definitely didn't happen to me in a previous recording. What are you talking about? Okay, anybody else? Okay. I like this bench here. It's a nice little touch. Can't sit on it, but it's a little sign of, you know, humanity, habitation in a place that is not very habitable. Anyway, let's find out what's going on inside this hut. It's another woman in a big dress. We saw one of these at the top of the tower in Dranglake Castle.
We knew you were coming. And stop singing.
Rude.
We are Milfinito. We are here to sing to those bound by death and dark.
So their purpose here is, as she said, to sing to those bound by death and dark. So those hollows out there, basically, that are dead and bothered with dark.
We will sing here forever, as we always have, from long, long ago. We know nothing of the world outside. And why should we? For we will never leave.
That's a grim existence.
Do you seek King Vendrick? But what is a king, after all? We know nothing of the world outside, for we will never leave here.
So, spitballing here, I've mentioned at various points in this playthrough the idea of basically becoming consumed with purpose and defining your identity completely by that purpose. Here, they were literally created with a singular purpose and never had the opportunity to have an identity outside of that. You know, we've had examples of kind of going the other direction. Here, they were like that from the start.
When we sing, the little ones dance. The little ones grant comfort to those who bear death and dark. This is what we were taught.
And there's your clue about the sparkly ones, the fireflies or whatever they are, calming the enemies.
Is there anything wrong? Perhaps this will help.
Cool.
This is all that we can do. When we sing, this...
So no doubt you've heard the cackling You remember that from the Shaded Woods. It's them curse pots that giggle and curse you. It's probably outside, if I had to guess. Yeah, over there. So let's let our curse go down and then roll through it. Ta-da! See, I can tell by the curse pots there's definitely some dark going on. Makes sense that the Milfinito would be worried about both death and dark. And I think that's basically all here. So the question is that, you know, they were created with this purpose, to sing and calm the creatures. Who created them? That is something that we will learn about in just a little bit. Anyway, this section is going to be a little bit trickier, because you'll see there are several of those aquatic hollows over to the right, and maybe one to the left too, I'm not sure. Yeah, a couple to the left. And none of them will be pacified, because the Milfinitos don't want us to live, apparently. They sing to calm the creatures, but stopped because we were here. Maybe they are trying to make it harder for us to get to Vendrick. Possibly. Anyway, let's see. I think this is the time to start sniping. So one thing I did off screen that I just didn't think of it until about 5 seconds after I finished recording the last episode. I upgraded a new bow, the Hunter's Black Bow. Before I was using like a longbow or something, but this one has S scaling and dexterity, and I was like, oh, well, I have a lot of dex. This should totally work. So this should do a fair bit more damage and make sniping faster. I mean, it's still not a super fast process, but it'll work. So sniping is something you'll be doing quite a bit of in this area, most likely. It's kind of an area that almost necessitates cheese. It's almost entirely necessary to just snipe everything and not actually attack things with your regular weapons. Let's see, is there one more? I see one more. Oh, I see two more, actually. Whoop. That's just stylish. Alright, and then there's one far, far away over there. Got it. So yeah, you definitely don't want to be caught with your pants down. Oh, and now you start singing. I guess because they can, without ill effect. Oh, there's still one there. Okay, cool. Either I'm a fool and she starts singing after you get a certain distance away, and I was like 2 steps away from that distance, or she's a jerk. Anyway, yeah, you don't want to get caught with your pants down, getting mobbed by, like, 5 hollows and 3 archdrakes. That would just not be good for you. Wow, getting a lot of their set. Cool. Alright, I think that wraps up this first section. Look at all that. That's gotta be the Giganto trees from Dark Souls 1, right? Gotta be. Oh, there's another one. We're gonna have to go through you to get to that chest, buddy. Sorry. Alright, now into a tunnel. Now you see all these, I believe, fireflies that are scattering away. They're still pacifying those dudes in there. We've also got return of these mushroom beetle things. We'll see more of those in the future as well. There's got to be a wonderful prize in here. I feel bad for needing to kill them, but they'll probably attack me. Yeah. Yeah. Just gonna... I'll attack this one. See if I can leave the other two alone. Yeah, here's a chest. Twinkling Titanite and a bunch of smooth and silky stones. We're getting a lot of smooth and silky stones. I'm not sure what the lore significance of that is. So don't worry, no boss behind this. But this starts the level proper. This is where the real Shrine of Amana begins. And you'll see right there, there is a bonfire. You're definitely gonna wanna activate that. And see that, hear that? This is what makes Shrine of Amana so terrible. Long-range spellcasters. Whew. So, that's the introduction. That's the introduction to Shrine of Amana. In the next episode, we will conquer, hopefully, the main portion of Shrine of Amana, and I will get pretty sick and tired of its nonsense, most likely. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.